Hey there, woodworkers. This is John from SpeTool. Welcome to our channel. When you walk down the aisle of any woodworking shop, you will see a variety of sandpapers out there. Aluminum oxide sandpaper, ceramic sandpaper, garnet and flint sandpaper, and silicon carbide sandpaper. With so many options, it's enough to make your hand spin, right? When it comes to picking the perfect sanding discs for our woodworking projects, we will be confused and don't know which kind of sandpaper is really suitable for us. Well, we are here to cut through the confusion. We are going to test and compare different sandpapers based on their grading efficiency and durability. So, let's find out which sandpaper truly stands out for our woodworking needs. We've got our lineup right here. Aluminum oxide sandpaper, zirconia aluminum sandpaper. The shapes of these three sandpapers are slightly different. It's diamond-shaped sanding discs, it's regular mesh sanding discs, and of course, the SpeTool net sanding discs.
Now, we are not just spinning it, we are using a scientific method, control grouts method. We are gonna take one block of wood and dividing it into 5 sections, each getting a 30 minutes sanding session with a different sandpaper. Every 5 minutes, we are weighing the wood to see how much weight these sandpapers can remove it. We are using the same standard for our tests, keeping the RPMs and power consistent, and we are even using a weight plate to keep the pressure steady. Let's make the sanders feel the pain of lifting weights. Haha, just kidding. I love my dumbbells, but shh, don't tell my personal trainer I said that. He might be watching this video. And since we are doing this test with the human hands, it's not like we can be as precise as the machine in keeping the frequency perfectly consistent. So, we can only try to control our bodies and make the frequencies consistent. Now, the testing begins. Now that we've got all the materials we need, it's time to kick off this test and see which sandpaper comes out on top.
We kicked off our test with the aluminum oxide sandpaper, the yellow one. In this dynamic line chart, the horizontal axis represents time and the vertical axis represents sanding weight. As the chart shows, this guy was a fast starter in the first 15 minutes, but lost steam quickly. It saw a noticeable drop in sanding weight during the first 20 minutes. By the first 5 minutes, line has an upward, but after 25 minutes, it started fall again, managing to sand off only 2.4 grams in the last 5 minutes. So its sanding reduction rate is 68.42%. Next up, we switched to the green sandpaper, with zirconia aluminum as its abrasive. This one was a bit slower in sanding compared to the yellow one, but in the first 5 minutes, it started to pick up the pace, and its decline was less steep, sanding off more wood than the yellow sandpaper in the end. You can see sanding reduction rate is 50%. Then we had the blue sandpaper, same abrasive as the yellow one, aluminum oxide, but with a diamond-shaped structure. Its performance was in the middle, sandwiched between the yellow and green sandpapers. But after 50 minutes, its hook and loop system was no longer effective, and it flew off the sander, leaving us with no further data for this one. Now, let's take a look at the performance of the SpeTool sandpaper, with ceramic aluminum as its abrasive and a net structure. The SpeTool sandpaper was off to a strong start, outperforming the other three consistently. After the first 15 minutes, it saw a slight bump up in sanding weight, and then it pretty much cruised along, with only minor fluctuations in the date. The decline in its performance was the slowest of the bunch, keeping it ahead of the pack, and the sanding reduction rate is 39.02%. Then we test a regular mesh sandpaper. This one surprised us with a slow start, sanding of only 3.6 grams in the first 5 minutes. It maintained a steady, albeit low, performance throughout, with a gentle decline during the subsequent testing and 38.89% sanding reduction rate. Since the sanding performance of the mesh sandpaper is quite different from that of SpeTool sandpaper, and the numbers on the chart were looking pretty green, we decided to give another brand a shot in the test. This second brand sandpaper performance is significantly better, but its decline was more noticeable in the later stages and has a 39.02% sanding reduction rate, still not matching up to the SpeTool sandpaper. Now, with all the data in, we can compare the sanding efficiency by the amount of wood ground off in the same time period, and durability by the steepness of the line decline in the chart. The rate at which the sanding weight reduction represents the percentage drop from the initial amount after 50 minutes of work. That's the extent of the efficiency loss, which is a direct indicator of the sandpaper's durability. The smaller this ratio is, the better the durability is. From the charts, it's clear that SpeTool sandpaper outperformed the others in sanding efficiency and maintained its edge over time. The aluminum oxide sandpaper started strong but didn't last, while the zirconia aluminum sandpaper had better durability but lower efficiency. Looking at the mesh sandpapers, both trailed behind the SpeTool sandpaper in terms of efficiency, and even the better performing second mesh sandpaper couldn't match SpeTool's durability. So, taking all the data into account, the SpeTool sandpaper emerged as the top performer with the highest sanding efficiency and the strongest durability in the same amount of time. It's the clear winner in our book, and it looks like it's going to be the winner in your workshop too.
We can find from the test result that the SpeTool sanding net disc performs significantly better. It outshines the rest in both durability and efficiency, which means it got a longer lifespan. That's because it's got superior variability. The professional word for how sandpaper keeps its edge sharp. The better the sandpaper, the more variability it got. Sharp-eyed folks might have noticed that our sandpaper produced quite little sawdust during the sanding process. It's all down to its special mesh design, making it a healthier choice for woodworkers. This mesh disc has an open mesh structure that allows harmful particles and debris to pass through thousands of tiny holes, keeping the dust out of your face and of the sandpaper surface. It will create a dust-free, healthy sanding environment in any application. The SpeTool sanding disc comes with a protection pad. Installed protection pad is a piece of cake. Just give it a good work and it's stick right on. Once it's on, it's not going anywhere. Hold tight on the sander. That's all thanks to the hook and loop system. With this, you don't have to replace the entire backing pad. It's a protective shield for your sanding pad, extending the life of your sander.
Many of you are concerned about the adaptability of sandpaper. Don't worry, we've got two sizes, 5-inch and 6-inch. They don't need to match the holes on your sander, regardless of the sander hole pattern. They all fit any sander. Each size comes in 6 grades: 80 grit, 120 grit, 180 grit, 230 grit, 320 grit, 400 grit, and a mixed pack for all your sanding needs. Okay, that's all for this video. In this video, we can find the best sandpaper for woodworkers. If anyone is confused about choosing sandpaper, take a look at the SpeTool sanding net disc. With its unmatched efficiency, durability, and health-friendly design, it will definitely satisfy you. You can click the link in the video description to get your hands on the SpeTool sanding disc. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more woodworking tools and tricks, and let us know in the comments how you choose sandpaper. See you next time.